Hi, welcome to Arizona Highland Homestead. Today we are sharing with you the first week of our lambs out on the pasture. So if you haven't heard from us before, what we do is we do some rotational grazing. There's a lot of different names of it, but the new popular one seems to be AMP, which is adaptive management, adaptive multi-paddock pasture grazing, I think is what it stands for. There's a lot of different ones. Regenerative agriculture tends to be the catchphrase nowadays. Grass-fed as well is a marketing term, but really what we tend to call it is management intensive grazing. So it takes a lot more management than it would to just turn out your animals out on a grazing land. So here you can see we've got this white net over here, we've got a green net over here, and this is the grazing lane for the day. So you can see what they're eating. It's not really just grasses out here. We've got all different types of weed. This is called white horehound. I don't know what these ones are here. I could probably look them up or figure it out for you. There's another species over here somewhere. There are some grasses in here. There's these other little species that are coming up. Baby horehound right there. And then this is that other species coming up I was talking about. This is goosefoot, I think. Anyway, there's a lot of variety here. There's a grass there, and another type of grass there. I think this is a native bunch grass, probably blue grama. It could be side oats grama. There's another one coming up. Let's see if I can see it. There it is. But there's a lot here. It doesn't look like it's super thick, and it's not. This is an area that we did some wood chipping on. But the idea is for it to be varied, for there to be a lot of diversity here. And honestly, the sheep really have helped out with that. We've only had them out here for a year, a little bit more than a year maybe, but this is right outside their corral. And it was disturbed when we moved here, but it had a lot of these scrub oaks that grew up around here. You can see scrub oaks there. There's one. I've trimmed that one up. It was more of just a bush, but there's other bushes around here, as you can see at the base of that pine tree there. Some nice pine trees here, but they make the shade, so it's nice to have trees and have kind of the silvopasture approach. Let me get closer to the sheep here. Silvopasture just means kind of trees mixed with grasses and open areas. So here you can see some scrub oaks that we trimmed up when we first moved here. This was just a thicket here. These all kind of grew together. You can see kind of the areas that we cut down stuff before, and trying to leave one dominant tree out of the group. So hopefully it'll grow tall and have a shade canopy. So this little bit of shade right here will become a big area of shade all around here. And that really helps the diversity too, but it also gives the sheep a place to get out of the sun in the summer. So you can see there are patches where it's kind of bare. This is Arizona, so we don't get a whole lot of rain. This was actually a swale that we dug out where that rock is there, and that piece of wood. And this little guy who we're just banded so that he'll be weathered. We actually gave him a bottle for his very first feeding because he wasn't able to find the udder real well, or the teat on the udder, but he's kind of imprinted on us. It's kind of funny. We just fed him one time, and then he got on, and he hasn't been fed by us since, but he kind of hangs around us, which isn't our favorite. We'd like for them to be sheep and not think that they're people, but he doesn't hang out too much with us, but he favors us more than anybody else out of the sheep. So so we've put their manure from the barn out here from time to time. This is probably a couple months old right here. It takes a while for it to decompose, but you can see there are some grasses coming up now that's getting warmer, and we have a hose there. We do water with one sprinkler out here, not very often, but this is actually a pathway going from right to left down the hill here. But we just keep this narrow lane, if you will, this little paddock that we make. So yeah, adaptive multi-paddock grazing, that's what AMP stands for. So you just do a lot of different paddocks rather than just turning them out into one paddock and letting them kind of figure out where they'll graze for that day. We are figuring that out for them so that they graze everything down. And if we take a look over here some more, it's fun watching these lambs. They're running and they're sleeping in the shade sometimes, or some are sleeping in the sun, depending on how warm or how cold it is these days. But this is their first week out here, and they're doing just fantastic. But I don't know if you can see the difference. We just put the sprinkler out. The sprinkler is down there, but we just put the sprinkler out over there where they grazed yesterday. And maybe you can see where they're grazing today, a little bit more green than where they were yesterday and then the day before. So the day before was the first time they were out on pasture, the lambs were. But these lanes are nice. They're nice and long, so they get a variety of more open area with less trees, which isn't what we'd prefer. We may end up planting some trees down in there where they were yesterday. But this is kind of sort of what we're shooting for, where we've got a variety of different small shrub species that we encourage to grow taller than the sheep are, so that there will be a shade canopy that the sheep can't reach, that will end up shading the sheep for a significant part of the year when they need it, especially these deciduous shrubs, because they will let the sun through in the winter, which will be a little bit more helpful. But there are different grasses that like to grow in the shade of these plants here. One of the problems is that you end up getting these shrubs that fall down. They're used to having all kinds of structure all around them from the other plants that make up kind of the shrub thicket, if you will, or the chaparral. But in the Southwest, we have a lot of chaparral, and it's hard to get it to end up being more tree-like than shrub-like. But you gotta give it time, you gotta give it a cluster kind of like this while they grow up and get stronger. But the sheep will get all in there. That's kind of the idea, is clearing out spots where the sheep can get in there and graze the grasses and things underneath, and places where the sun can get in, right, and get some real direct sun into the base of these trees, so we can grow grasses and other plants like these here. But the sheep have really made a big difference here. They have allowed everything to kind of be on the same level, and now when things are sprouting out, it's not just going to be like this goosefoot here that will dominate because it can grow taller, nor this other plant here necessarily, because these grasses can only grow so tall. The grass is, as you know, not as tall as a lot of these other plants. So probably talking about stuff that you've either heard me say before or you already know. But these deciduous plants, this is the fragrant sumac, and you can see it coming out right there. I don't know if I can focus on that, but there we go. It's coming out of bud. So the sheep really love that plant. They eat just about everything out here at just different times of year. They prefer different things, and they really do like a variety. So they may eat this horehound Like this time of year, they really do eat the horehound here, along with the grass. Of course, they'll eat grass all year long, no matter what. But they'll eat down the horehound as well at this time of year, but not other times of year. Like, I think in the summer, the horehound probably tastes a little bit strong to them. I don't know exactly, but you can see here the grass has been nibbled. So anyway, I just wanted to give you guys an update to show you how our sheep are doing during the first week. That is our East Frisian Dorper cross there. We tried milking her yesterday, but there was no milk available, so we'll continue on our journey with that and share with it as we go. We did get some milk out of this Katahdin Dorper cross, the black one. There's her babies, the black and white spotted ones. They're super cute with their spotted coats. They're all doing really well. They've all been shocked by the hot wire, and they know what it's like and to avoid it. They're doing great. Everybody's doing really well. I didn't plan for this to be a video that was this long, but it's such a fun time of year and just had to share it with you guys. So that's kind of the current state of our pasture and the current state of the sheep at the moment. I'll continue to give you some updates, of course, as time goes on. I know a lot of you were really excited to see all of the lambs that we got, and so it's even more exciting to see them out of the corral where they are, I'd say 90% of the time throughout the year. During daylight hours, they're in the barn at night, but it's really nice to finally have everybody out here on a sunny day when everything's growing and coming up, and there's lots of things to eat out here. There's the two newest ones. They're just over a week old. All right, well, I'm Nick from Arizona Highland Homestead. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll have more videos for you real soon.